So when you think about her, she has so many facets to her. She paved a long journey to get to where she is, yes? She had to learn how to say yes even when she wanted to say no. She's had to learn how to say no when everyone else has wanted her to say yes. Am I talking about her right now? She has been on a journey to discover herself. She has been on a journey to give herself permission to become unapologetic. She has been on a mission to give herself permission to become non-negotiable. She knows how to take care of everyone else, and now she's learning how to take care of herself first. Yes? Am I in the right room? She doesn't ask the world for anything. She offers the world everything she has. She's always there. She's always showing up. She has so much more in her than the world has even seen. She's just getting started. Yes, yes? She understands the value of wealth. She understands the value of spirituality. She understands the value of relationships. And she understands the value of health. And in this season, she's now putting them all together to create 360 abundance. She recognizes that money without spirituality isn't quite the same, and that relationships without good health isn't quite the same. She's finally arrived to, I don't have to choose either or, I get and. Yes? She is on a whole new path. She is about to see the best version of herself. She is becoming barely recognizable. She is more than she's ever been, and she's about to become more than she can ever imagine. That's who she is. She is not about to just surprise people. She's about to blow their mind. See, yeah. See, she finally recognized that she didn't have to ask anyone to be as brilliant as she is. She didn't have to ask anyone, are they ready for her beauty? She doesn't really have to ask anyone, can she be great? She really doesn't have to ask permission to do anything. Her job simply is to give the world notice. See, this is her season. And this is her time. This is the time when we don't have to learn how to dance around each other. This is the time where we, us, get to learn how to dance together. This is when she gets to define her own rhythm. This is when she gets to sing her own song. This is when she doesn't have to worry about assimilating and fitting in. As a matter of fact, the more she stands out, the better it is. See, she's just getting started. Some days she feels really exhausted. Some days she feels like people don't really value who she really is. Some days she feels like, my God, I can't give anything else to the world more than I'm giving. Some days she realizes, wait a minute, if one more person asks one more thing from me, I'm going to scream. And then on another day she realizes, well, of course they'll ask more of me. I always show up. Of course they'll want more from me. I get the job done. Of course they want me on their team. I'm a good team player. Of course my children, my husband, my family, they all ask something from me because I always show up with enough to give. She finally realizes that she's enough for everyone. That she's not a super sister soldier. She's an ordinary woman choosing every day to make one more extraordinary decision. And so I just stopped by to ask you, are you ready for who she is becoming? Are you ready for who you are becoming? Are you ready for your next best season? Are you ready to be anything and everything that you could have imagined and then some? No sprinkle fairy dust, no potion lotion, no magic wand, just strong, resilient women. Are you ready to be unapologetically you? I look at my life and how it landed here. And I look at the journey that landed me here. And the first part of the journey had a lot of bumps and a lot of tidal waves and a lot of stop signs. And I realized that every stop sign I needed, every bump slowed me down. You know, every betrayal gave me an opportunity to exercise my forgiveness muscle. And all of a sudden, everything that I've been through needed to occur so that I am a better woman today. If we can use every ingredient that's ever come into our path to make us who we are today and love her, embrace her, be her unapologetically, then who does the world get when they get you? They get the best version of you. I look at my life, and the last time I took an English class, I got a fail in English. And my English teacher told me, "You are the weakest writer I've ever met in my entire life." She literally said that. And I said, "Well, does that come with an award? Because I am like the best being the worst." And that same year, I got a D- in speech. And my speech teacher said, quote unquote, "Miss Nichols, I recommend that you get a desk job and never speak in public." Don't worry, the story ends good. Don't you dare worry. Don't you dare worry. And that's when I recognize that some of your best motivation, some of your best inspiration might just come wrapped in sandpaper. Some of the best lessons and the best blessings might just come wrapped in an uncomfortable, difficult, unacceptable experience. Some of the things that have made our mothers and our grandmothers and will make us and will make our daughters the best version of themselves comes wrapped in a disappointment at times. Comes wrapped in a "I'll show you." Comes wrapped in a "oh, wait a minute, hold on, you don't believe me? Let me give you evidence of who I am." I'm just saying, everything, say everything. Everything, say everything. Everything is fuel. Every single experience that you've had, every single moment that's on its way to you, every single thing is fuel. Your job is, will you use it to push you forward, or will you use it as reason to sit down? Today and yesterday was about understanding who she is, understanding who she has been, and understand who she is becoming. What I love about that is that your future is in your hands. There's many of things that we have to work on, many of things that we get to change, but every day when you get up, you get to choose the woman that you're gonna be that day. Will you be a shining, bold example of becoming unapologetic? See, I realize when people say, "Lisa, how did you go from welfare to Wall Street? How did you go from getting a fail in English to being an author of 7 bestsellers? How did you go from getting a D- in speech to reaching over 36 million people a year with your messages?" I said, I forgot to ask for permission. I forgot to ask for permission. See, so many times we're determining our future based on our past when we realize that my past is a setup for where I'm going. So I just stopped by to remind us that you are the author of your autobiography. And I just believe we should all write a bestseller. And I just stopped by to remind you that you are the designer of your destiny. I just stopped by to remind you that your pages of your next chapter are blank, and the pen can only be held by you. So what will your legacy say? How will you disrupt this planet? I didn't say go by easy and stay quiet. There's no victory in staying quiet. There's victory in being willing to be bold and outrageous and ridiculous for something that you radically believe in, whatever that something is. Being a stand for another young woman or for a young man. Being a stand for a body of people who need to be represented by an individual like you. Being a stand for children. Being a stand for you. Heck, just standing up. Being willing. Being willing to say, my life isn't supposed to disappear behind small moments of agreeing with everything. Neither is it supposed to be disruptive all the time, but my life is supposed to have a pulse in it. My life is supposed to go to the edge and stand right on the edge, and I'm supposed to spread my wings and get just close enough to make people nervous. That my life was put here to be an example for someone else's. That when we recognize that our lives don't belong to us, they never have just belonged to us. And when people call us crazy, oh my God, you're crazy for trying to be disruptive. You're crazy for trying to do so many things. I say, well, you know what? Crazy is not all bad. There was this man who said, let's do a long walk for freedom. And let's walk 36 miles. And I believe they were in their church shoes, which you got to know, that's difficult. And led this movement with not just African Americans, but people of all other cultures. He said, let's lead this walk for freedom. And he might not be there to see the day happen when little black girls and little white girls and little Asian girls and little Latino girls can hold hands and play together. They said, Dr. King, you got to be crazy. And then there was that man who got out of prison after 27 years and led the largest forgiveness movement in history and became president. And someone said, Nelson Mandela, you got to be crazy. And then there was that man who said, I just want to be the change I want to see in the world. Can you be the change you want to see in the world? And they said, Mahatma, you got to be crazy. And then there was that woman who said, let's feed one child at a time and end hunger. And someone said, Mama T. It was a friend, y'all. We would call her Mother Teresa, but they called her Mama T. You gotta be crazy. So if someone thought Nelson Mandela and Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King and Mother Teresa and Cesar Chavez, if they thought those great people were crazy because they were radical enough to believe in something greater than what we could see today, then when someone calls you crazy, look them in their eyes and say, well, if I'm crazy, I'm in damn good company. Yes, yes? And so I just stopped by as an ending note before I hop on a plane, like in a couple of hours. I just stopped by to just put a cap on this experience, to ask you, what radical action are you willing to live in? Not out in the world yet, but in your bathroom. What are you willing to say when you look at her in the mirror? What are you willing to do differently when you wake up tomorrow morning? Are you willing to carve out some me time, some she time, some we time? Y'all would think I planned that, didn't you? It just kind of flows out that way. I don't know what happened. Are you willing? Are you willing to boldly speak up for the woman you know yourself to be? And for the men in the room, thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. You're definitely included, but I'm talking to my sister friends right now. Are you willing? Are you willing to be radical for the thing you stand for? Are you willing to sing loud enough for someone to hear you? Are you willing to dance long enough for someone to catch a glimpse at your groove? Are you willing? Are you willing to allow someone else to copycat you for a moment? Are you willing to hold your breath long enough for someone else to use your oxygen when they need it? Are you willing? Are you willing to let your light shine so brightly that it might disrupt your neighbor? Put your shades on, y'all. Are you willing? Are you willing to no longer dim your light so that others won't feel insecure in your presence? Are you willing to show up being the brilliant being you've always known yourself to be? 360 abundance. Are you willing to pour into your spiritual practice and allow your spiritual you to live boldly into the world unapologetically? Are you willing to hold hands and pray with her just because she needs a prayer, not knowing quite what her belief system is, but you know that somewhere she knows there's something greater than her? Are you willing? Are you willing to invest in your physical being so that your body, your temple, can sustain your life purpose? Are you willing to be physically responsible for your future? Are you willing to get your finances so in order so that you can buy your freedom and his if he needs you to? Are you willing? Are you willing? Are you willing to disrupt the norm, not by what you say and not by what you do, but by who you be? Are you willing? Are you willing to not be memorable and not be wonderful, but to become unforgettable? Are you willing? Are you willing to make your dash, the dash between your birthday and your transition day, are you willing to make that dash dance? See, the dash between your birthday and your transition day isn't supposed to be straight. That's like that line on that machine in the hospital. The last thing you want is for it to be straight. You want that line to go like this. As much as it can, you want that line to go like this. Are you willing to make your life go like that? Are you willing to find those places where you can peak? The valleys will find you, but you got to find the peaks. Are you willing to not let a speed bump become a stop sign? Are you willing? Are you willing to love again like you never got hurt? There you go. Breathe it in, sis. Are you willing to spend another dollar like you never lost one? Are you willing to invest in yourself like you never fell down before? Are you willing? Are you willing to give weight release one more try as if you never failed a diet before? Are you willing to pray as if all prayers are answered? I didn't come with your answers. I came with the questions. Are you willing, sis? Because she is amazing. She is everything. She is breathtaking. She is unforgettable. She is breath. She is life. She is being reinvented. She is right here in this room. She is you and I. And together we become we. I'm so honored to be your sister in this journey. I'm so honored to call you my friend. I'm so honored to be on the planet at the exact same time as you. I'm so honored to be writing my autobiography while you're writing yours. My grandmother says, baby, when you get my age, she's 87. Baby, when you get my age, you're supposed to sit in your favorite rocking chair and share the story of your life. She says, but baby, that's how she says, baby, but when you're your age, you're supposed to make sure the story's gonna be good to tell. I love you. Take care.